GlobalScaleRadio.net.
Yeah. It's about that time. It's about that time to get. Yeah.
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
GlobalScaleRadio.net.
If you're lying, then you must be half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Back once again for a live show Monday night, September 24th, 2012. The time is 7 p.m. For the next 2 hours, you're going to be hanging out with Big Rube, Marcus J, and Carl Banks. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you want to be down with us, hit us up, 804-447-0601, 804-447-0601. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Big Ruben Carlton Banks, be down with us. Hit us up on the live line. Check us out on Facebook. Hit us up on our fan page. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Hit us up on our personal pages. Hit us up on Twitter, Big Rube. How they gonna find us on Twitter, brother? NOHLFSTEPPIN. As we do every single week, we have a live show for you from the highest rated show on GlobalScaleRadio.net. We come in with the socially conscious entertainment that's got the best sports stories in the week. We got a dash of humor. We're gonna bring it all to you. So tonight, we got, of course, our NFL recap. The Dallas Cowboys won a big game this week. The New York Football Giants, the Super Bowl defending champions, won a big game this week. Washington Redskins didn't do so well, and neither did the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to call us up and rep your squad and tell us how you felt about your game, 804-447-0601. If you are rooting for the team that are playing tonight, if you got Green Bay, you got Seattle, call us up, 804-447-0601. 0601. Of course, we got our NFL recap. We got our sports roundup. We're going to get into a couple of things. But at the top of the hour, at 8 o'clock, you ain't trying to miss us because we're going to bring the sexy. We got our relationship show headlined by the dating pool diva, debuting the new segment on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. The Diva Diaries will have their very first episode tonight on Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, headlined by Arthur Charisma. And we're going to bring the funny, we're going to bring the sexy. We got the comedianess Lissa P in the building with us tonight in the 8 o'clock hour for our socially conscious and entertainment hour. Of course, we're going to have a missing child in there as well. So we're going to bring it. Tonight, Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. We're going to show you why we the highest rated show on GlobalScaleRadio.net. As we do every single week, we go around the room, we check in with the fellas, we see how they doing, we see how their weekends was. As we do every single week, we're going to start with my man on my right. We got Carlton Banks in the building. What's up, brother?
What's good, what's good, what's good?
We chilling, man. How you doing, man?
I can't complain. Long weekend, had to do some work, do some more work, do some more work.
Always working.
And yeah, bro, I got to do some work. You don't want to tell me, I don't want to tell you everything I did, but, you know, it dealt with that yard kind of thing, that fall.
Oh, damn it, Gina.
I know.
You got the yard, man.
Okay, man. Aerated and seeded. That's all I got.
So you got yourself ready for the spring?
I got myself ready for the spring.
Well, hopefully, you know, it's starting to get a little bit cool here in, you know, the Cap City here in Virginia. So, you know, hopefully you won't have to do too many cuts, you know, going forward.
Oh, yeah. I cut it down real low.
Real low. So you might, if you lucky, you got one, maybe two more.
Maybe two.
And then you're done. And you got it done. Anything else cool happened with you, man?
Debuted in my full-time coaching debut this weekend.
Coaching debut? What sport you coaching,
I
man?
had to coach some Little League soccer.
Oh,
Kind of sweet.
man.
Kind of sweet. I had to fuss at the refs. I felt good.
Did you? Did you like kick dirt on them and cuss them out and stuff?
Man, I think I made the little girl cry.
Did you throw like your hat down on the ground and like, you know, say words that had to be spot shouted out if you were on video?
No, I couldn't use any of that. But I did have to yell because see, shorty, this one girl bigger than my son, they were elbow at the back of my son's
Icebox.
No, it wasn't Icebox.
Oh, man.
Icebox ain't that mean.
I mean, with a name like Icebox, you would think that she doing the damn thing.
Right, but no, this chick threw an elbow at the back of my son's head, and next thing I know, I'm like, what in the world? Come on, call that, Ralph.
But he ain't do it.
And he was in front of her.
So are the coaches co-ed and the refs co-ed, or is it just everything is co-ed?
Everything's co-ed.
Oh.
Complain about that. Now, there are some all-girl teams out there, but I don't think we get the luxury of playing them, although I would be scared, to be honest. Cause,
What you scared for, man?
these girls are aggressive, man.
You the coach.
I know, but I ain't got but one girl on my team, and she just as aggressive as the rest of them. So.
Oh my goodness! Here you go, this guy. So everything else was cool. You do anything? You know, obviously we know that the Dallas Cowboys won their game yesterday. We'll talk. We'll talk about that as when we get to that segment. But other than that, I'm guessing you had a good Sunday.
I had a great Sunday. Wife and the boy were out the house, so I can enjoy the game.
Oh, you had the house alone to watch the games? Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm saying there's chilling.
So you got to do the thing. You didn't have nobody nagging. You ain't had nobody trying to put the wrong channel on for the game. For no nonsense or nothing.
None of that.
That's what's up. Big Rube.
Yo.
Colin Banks had a good weekend. Can you top it?
Please, son. Of course I can top it. At least on Saturday.
So we gonna do this right. Big Rube.
Yo.
Big Rube.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling.
You doing all right?
Yeah, you know it, man. I'm always good.
You have a good weekend, man?
You know, I had a good weekend till about 4:15, but then after I got over that, we good.
We're gonna talk about that.
We could talk.
You guys are just busting at the seams to get to your games, man. Y'all got to be patient.
Oh, I'm patient.
You got to be patient.
I'm real patient
because we
got. I got words.
We got an agenda that we got to keep to. So when we get to the games, you know, we're gonna get to the games. You know,
no doubt.
Colin Banks and Marcus J had good weekends with regards. Jay Grizzy Green and who's not with us tonight, and Big Rube didn't have great nights. But other than the games, anything you want to share that you did that was awesome, that you just feel as though you need to share with the Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J listeners?
Well, my cousin and his fiance had their engagement party on Saturday, so that was good to see fam. Get back in touch with the fam, see her fam, stuff like that. That was beautiful. I got to hang out with my little bro, and his wife. That's always good. Little bro live in North Virginia. Shout out to Kevin and Cynthia. And other than that, Saturday, woo!
Oh my God!
I mean, we'll talk about Saturday a little later. I guess that's what they call a teaser.
Is a teaser.
But Saturday was on point.
We're going to get to Saturday real
Big
quick.
Rube had a great Saturday.
We're going to get to Saturday. We're going to, knowing how you bugging out right now, we're going to make sure that we get to Saturday in this very segment. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. You trying to be down with us? 804-447-0601. Call us up. Rep your squad. We're going to be talking about the National Football League for the next hour. We're going to be talking about it at 8 o'clock, the top of the hour. We're going to move on to Socially Conscious and Entertainment. But until then, call us up and rep your squad. Hit us up on the Facebook page, Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. Search it. If you're listening right now, if you listen to us every single week, you haven't hit our page, you got us hit us up there. We put stuff there that we don't necessarily shout out to the folks that are listening to us on the live line. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. We your host had a pretty decent weekend. I didn't do much. Friday, I just kicked it, reunited with an old friend. Hadn't had an opportunity to hang out with in a while, so that was fun. Saturday, kind of did the same. Hung out with some friends, kind of did the family thing. But then on Sunday, your man Marcus J hung out with your man Big Rube, and we took in some of the games and whatnot, and that was cool. Actually, before I go further, I got a movie that y'all need to watch. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. Crew, Carlton Banks, Big Rube, and anybody within the sound of my voice. If you are a hip hop fan, I did a rant on this last week, and we're gonna have a hip hop show coming up here in the near future. If you are a fan of hip hop, you gotta listen. You gotta watch The Art of Hip Hop. The Art of Hip Hop, directed by Ice-T. This movie basically takes you back to the origins of hip hop. If you are a hip hop fan, there's no reason why you can't see this movie. You talking about Grandmaster Caz. You talking about Grandmaster Melly Mel. You talking about the Furious Five. We talking about Nas. We talking about Dougie Fresh. We talking about Chuck D. We talking about Tretch. We talking about Lord Jamar, Brand Nubian. We talking about all these cats who are talking to you about the origins of hip hop, and then he goes across the country from South Bronx, all over the New York City area, across the Midwest, and ends up on the West Coast. If you're a fan of hip hop, I'm not one to like really shout out, a movie like this. I'll tell you what I like, and if you like it, then that's cool. But this movie right here, if you're a hip hop fan, you need to watch this, because you got 3 hip hoppers in this room based upon our age. I don't know if based upon our musical taste, but certainly best based upon our age. You're supposed to be hip hop fans. Big Rube gives me a hard time about some of the hip hop that I like to play here on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. And this week, we'll share with you very shortly what our theme is. If you was listening last week, you already know. But you definitely need to go ahead and check this movie out, Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to let Big Rube get into why his Saturday was so great. Big Rube, you told me a little bit about it yesterday when we hung out. I'm definitely interested for the Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J listeners to get in on this one. Why was Saturday so great, brother?
Can I just say that I love me some college football? Like, don't get it wrong. I love the NFL, but a special piece of my heart is in college football world, because I'm gonna tell you about the second thing first, because the first thing I gotta say that for a little bit later. Now, first of all, Big Rube is a Miami Hurricanes football fan, and those of you who follow us, you do. Those of you who hate us, don't really care about you. But it's like this. We played Georgia Tech. We own Georgia Tech. We beat them last 3 times. So, we scored the first 19 points of the game. They score the next 36. We come back, tie the game with 2 seconds left on the clock. 20 seconds left on the clock. Then we turn around and win that joint in overtime. But we won overtime so nice, we stopped their dude on the 1 yard line. And I'm not saying 1 yard line for a touchdown. I'm saying 1 yard line for a first down. 4th and 1 for a first down. Cold. Stop him cold. My boy James, go ahead, ran a touchdown there. Beautiful. That made the night great. But the first thing, as I said earlier, I was at my cousin's engagement party. Then we went to his crib. Big ups to Glenn. He let me watch my Old Dominion Monarchs from the 7-5-7.
You think I said what I said?
The 7-5-7.
Here we go.
Watch my boys play. We were down 47-24. We won 64-61. And for those of you who don't know, ODU is in the 4th year of football, number 4 in the country. Represent. And at the time we beat New Hampshire. They were number 18 or whatever. I don't even know what they're right now, but who cares? But the more important, our sophomore quarterback threw for 730 yards, a Division I record, ran for another 5 touchdowns, ran for another 61 yards and a touchdown. So he set the Division I record for the most yards by one person in any game. That's beast. And to top it all off, for those of you who watch football, you understand quarterbacks throw pretty well. Your average quarterback throws about 63%. He threw 55 out of 79 for a 70% clip. Really? 70% of his 79 passes were caught? First of all, that's crazy. And then on top of that, which is why I found out later, his offensive line, they had 113 plays. How about all 5 of his big dudes played 113 plays. They didn't get subbed out for nothing. They stayed there and they were truthful. And to make it all beast.
Can we cut him off?
Hold on. No, you
waiting
can't.
for you to do that.
You
I
can't.
really have been.
All beast, 1 sack.
Can we cut him off?
1 sack, son.
Let me-
1 sack.
Let me tell you something. When you score that many points in a game, of course your offensive line can play because there's no damn defense. There's no defense being played in that game. I don't care what Ruben says. I know he's hype about it and whatnot.
He's
They
getting
came back behind, but there's no defense.
And I knew that was
being
coming.
played in that game.
And I knew that was coming
He knew
because
it was
Okay.
coming.
well, I got something for that. Hold on, Banks. I got
Let me
something for
finish.
that.
I'm gonna give you credit with some credit. The game ended.
I think
However,
I think he just Kanye West you.
yeah.
I mean, you
Shut
know,
up.
Go ahead, Bank.
They ended the game on a defensive play, which seemed miraculous to begin with because you scored 61 points, 125 points scored in a game, in a football game. Come on, man. What is this, Tecmo Bowl? Madden?
okay. First of all, I want to be hater. You know, they scored 54 points in 3 quarters. How about our defense decide to play defense? 7 points in the fourth quarter. You said there was no defense in the fourth quarter. There was some. I don't know about the other team because we scored 25 points in the fourth quarter, but we played the fourth quarter and like you said, we won the game. Interception by a linebacker, beast. Now you can say what you want. Last time I checked, I ain't never seen Virginia State. I ain't never seen Virginia Union on ESPN Sports Center, son.
You must not be looking. You must not be looking.
Not for football.
Yes, you have.
What football?
Because
When's
Virginia
the
State had the longest overtime game. They were in the NCAA record books. For
Oh, did
that.
y'all win that?
When's the last
Yes, we
time?
did.
When's the last time a member of the Old Dominion, whatever the
Monarchs.
hell they are,
Monarchs.
made the National Football League? What's the last player you can think of
We actually
Sharper.
have 2 right now.
right now?
And first of all, nobody from. I mean,
Bobby Phillips played for the Minnesota Vikings. Come on, man.
who's that?
Yeah. Anyway, he played for the Vikings. Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
Who's that?
It's a third division in the college ranks.
Division
Two.
2, yes.
Division 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Division 2.
Yes.
And we
yes.
still got an NFL player.
I mean, we've only been in football just for 4 years.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
We
I
gave
understand what you're
we
saying,
gave
Mark.
you in your.
I mean, you can sit here, you
This
can
is called, man,
bad and
you
not
with
give
me.
any props.
Marcus, I hear what you're
I
saying.
mean, you can not
I'm giving you props,
I'm
but
just
you
saying.
just went on a mini rant and nobody gives a damn.
I mean, you don't have to. It's not about you giving a damn. All I'm
Monarch.
saying is,
I mean, come on,
757 represent ODU Monarchs did work, and you know what?
man. Ain't no half stepping with
I ain't
Marcus
seen
Jack.
nobody else on TV. What?
Sports Roundup continues with Major League Baseball with the. Basically, we got some pretty good pennant races. Of course, as New York Yankees fans, big Ruben Marcus J. Carlton Banks doesn't have a pony in this race. He roots for the Braves, but he doesn't have the passion that big Ruben I have. So I'm going to stick to him for just a moment. Baltimore Orioles win today in the first half of a doubleheader playing against the Toronto Blue Jays. So that the lead the Yankees have right now currently sits as 1/2 game as the rest of the season presents itself through the rest of the week. My question to you is, are the Yankees going to hold on? The Orioles, of course, are not going away, obviously. Right now, the Yankees have a 1/2 game lead. If the Orioles win tonight and the Yankees lose, the Yankees will be back behind them by a 1/2 game. So I'm going to ask you, do the Yankees hold on to this lead and go to the playoffs as a division leader, or do the Yankees slip in as a wild card?
First of all, I don't think that the Orioles are going to do it. I believe the Yankees will go in as division winner. I believe the Yankees will go in, and I believe we get the winner of the AL Central in the first round. That's where we're going to be at.
We do get the AL Central. That would be the Chicago White Sox. I don't see anybody catching up to them. Detroit put up a great, they had the better team. They would have expected to win that division. Didn't work out. Jim Leland may actually get his ass fired because of the performance of that team. But are you speaking as a homer, or are you speaking as someone that's analyzing baseball?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, I
well,
feel,
give me
the
not
reason,
so much the analyzation, not so much the homer stuff. Why do you think the Yankees gonna hold on, and why do you think the Orioles won't?
I don't think it's a fact that the Orioles won't. I think it's a fact that the Orioles won't get in a position to win it, because every time we've been tied, the Orioles lose. I think they're a year away
Okay.
from really being dominant. Because let's just be honest, Other than Marcus J, who said the Baltimore Orioles be in the playoffs, I don't think that the Orioles were shocked. They were surprised.
Did you just give me credit?
I unfortunately gave you credit. Yes.
In spring training, when Marcus J said that Buck Showalter would have them guys in year 3 playing in the playoffs, I said that this past March. Are you giving me credit right now?
Look, man, don't be pushing.
I'm just grinning
I'm
right
just
now.
saying.
I love you, man.
I just gave you credit, man. You got to be pushing.
But he don't want to give you credit back.
Yeah, he don't want to give me the credit. But that's cool. That's cool. But in all seriousness.
But yeah, I don't think they have the. Whenever the back's against the wall, the Yankees always come out.
Okay.
And we always win the important game. We always don't win the game that we should.
We'll see what happens. I'm going to go around the Major League Baseball real quick. Davey Johnson is sitting his regulars for the Washington Nationals. They clinched the division. First time that the Washington Nationals make the playoffs as the Nationals, and it had been a very long time since the Montreal Expos, which they used to be, has made the playoffs. You got any issues with Davey Johnson sitting the regulars?
No, he should have sat his pitcher a month ago.
Well, the thing is, I think you're talking about, what's Steven Strasburg, who they should have let sit the first month of the season. But for those people who are not baseball fans, this is a pitcher who they wore him out throughout the season, so now he's not eligible to play for the rest of the season, which includes the last few weeks of the season and the playoffs. Had they not pitched him in April, in the early part of May, then he'd be ready to go right now.
But that is a team decision.
That is a team
not
decision.
A major league decision. So if they choose to change their mind, they can't reinstate him.
Yeah, the old school way is let the guy go, let the guy pitch. But the new school way is you got pitch counts, you got innings counts and things of that sort, and they're worrying about the guy. He had Tommy John just over a year ago. They're worrying about him blowing out the arm. They're worrying about his future. But my position is, if Nolan Ryan of the Texas Rangers, who's a Hall of Famer, says that it's okay to let the kid go, even though he's not in charge of him, I say go ahead and let the kid go. Last thing I want to get into, two quick things that I want to get into before we go out. Marlins receiver, Miami Marlins, Heath Bell says that Ozzie Guillen, who is the very opinionated manager of the Miami Marlins, who used to be a Chicago White Sox manager, is someone who is not respected in the clubhouse. This is the same guy who has some disparaging remarks to say about his own Latino fans in the Miami area early in the season. Carlton Banks, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I was listening to one of the networks on the way here, and they said that there's a 75% chance he won't be back this fall, next spring, I should say, next spring, and that's kind of sad. I like Ozzie to be personal. I mean, he speaks what's on his mind. He says what he wants to say, and he'll tell you in 2 different languages. So that's the best thing for me. Yeah, he did say some things he probably shouldn't have, but that's what you get with Ozzie. Yeah. You gotta take the good with the bad.
You ought to know who you're dealing with when you're dealing with Ozzie. Big Rope.
Yeah, and then they gotta buy us contract.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a lucrative contract. I didn't realize the Marlins had that kind of cash.
Yeah, well, when they got that new stadium and it became the Miami Marlins from the Florida Marlins, part of that was getting a new stadium, and we all know with the new stadium comes a whole lot of revenue.
Yep.
Yeah. Last thing I want to get into in the sports roundup, we're going to keep with Major League Baseball. We're going to talk about Kevin McClatchy. Most people don't know that name. Kevin McClatchy, the owner and CEO of the Pittsburgh Pirates between the years of 1996 and 2007, has recently acknowledged openly that he is a gay man to the New York Times, saying that frequently homophobic slurs were heard in baseball circles, and he had that had him convinced to keep his sexual orientation a secret. Big Rube, thoughts on that?
Okay. That's my thoughts on that.
Nothing.
Because honestly, man, you're gay. Okay, good stuff. Let's move on.
Colin Banks.
My thing is this, and you saw a post that I had the other day on my wall. There's no such thing as homophobia. You are afraid of what that person is. That's all that is. And, it's a man's outside, and his physical capability should not have to do or be judged by his inside. That's the whole thing I have a problem with right there. He can play the ball. He can play the sport. Why not? Why hate on him because of what happens to him or what he does behind closed doors. That's not fair to him.
Ain't no ass stabbing Marcus J. If you know me, you listen to the show, you know I support the right to be whatever you are. If that's gay, that's straight, that's black, that's white, that's whatever it is, do what you do. I don't even give a damn. Ain't no ass stabbing Marcus J. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to get into the National Football League. What happened to your team? Rep your squad. 804-447-0601. Marcus J. Ain't no ass stab. Be back in a minute.
When you got a subject and a predicate, add it on a dope beat.